Well, hello there. Back for volume 4. Stoward Area High School Kids Distance Learning. Pete Hamilton, Mr. Hamilton, and we lost Penny, Pythagoras Penny. She got fired. She wasn't very patient, and she didn't follow along. So yeah, we gassed Penny, and we have Mr. Panda. The other thing is I don't know about you guys, but if you're feeling like kind of trapped and you can't get out, you're at your house, you're going crazy. So today's theme is prison, and I'm from the Department of Math Corrections because I kind of feel like I'm in a prison too. We're not allowed to get out. We're going crazy, and we got Pandas subbing in for Pythagoras Penny, and yeah, so. Anyways, I'm right with you. I'm inmate number 3.14. Ha! Kind of funny, kind of a math geeky joke. So, anyways, I want to talk a little bit more. We are going to talk about level 3, writing equations of trig graphs. Same 4 steps as before. Things are going to get a little bit spicier though today, and the spiciness is going to come with our frequency. So, frequency is how many times these sine and cosine curves cycle given the period length of 2 pi. So to find that, we have an equation that we learned 2 lessons ago. It was take 2 pi divided by the period. So we're going to take a look at that and how that number is going to change a little. But as far as steps, and I'm just going to do one example with you. So as far as steps, they don't change. Step number 1 is find the midline. Boom, right here. I look at my highs and my lows. There's my midline. Okay, what equation that's y equals 1. So that goes here, y equals 1. Next thing I do there, Mr. Panda, take a peek here, is I find the amplitude. So the amplitude is step 2. It's a distance from the midline to the high point, and that's a distance of 1. Next now is my frequency. Okay, so if this is the cosine curve, I want to refer back to this document over here we talked about. So here's your cosine curve. It goes through one complete cycle in this order. It goes high through the midline to a low point, through the midline to a high point. So if we take a look here, this is supposed to be the cosine curve. We're going to start high. That's where we start on this one. We're going to go through the midline to a low point, midline to a high point, right? That's going to identify the period. So the period in this one is 2 pi over 5. So to find the frequency, this is where it gets just a little bit spicy, is we take 2 pi and we divide it by that fraction, 2 pi over 5. So what I want to do for you, just hang on one moment. So I'm going to show you on this whiteboard here how I might go about that. So if I take 2 pi and I divide that by this fraction, 2 pi over 5. Let's see if I can't get it out of the shadow there. We talked a little bit about this. We've been doing this all year and dividing by fractions. Just don't cry. Invert and multiply. So we talk about this. You take this, bring it up here. You invert it and you multiply it. What does that look like? Well, this is not a fraction, so we create that as a fraction. And we multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms. That's 10 pi. 2 times 5 is 10, so 2 times 5, 10 pi. And the bottom is 1 times 2 pi, which is 2 pi. And now we're just going to reduce here. So use a different color to show you. Cancel, cancel. 2 goes into 10 5 times. That's our frequency. So that number right there goes right in front of x. And last but not least, step 4, you check for a reflection. And so if it's a reflection, this order is reversed. Instead of cosine starting high, it would be below. It'd start low and go through the midline to a high point, through the midline and end on a low point. And the same thing with sine. Instead of sine, go back to this curve. Instead of sine starting at the origin and going high to low, it would be the opposite order and would go this direction. So we don't have to change that. This is our final equation. And that's it. Panda, you all right with this?
Yep.
You good to go? Good. So, Mr. Hamilton here from the Department of Math Corrections, inmate 3.141. 5, thank you. We're going to sign out. Until next time, friends. Stay clean, wash your hands, disinfect your phones, and most importantly, Panda, be kind.